Hi, I'm Rod Regan, Director of Safety at Game Inc. Here at Game, safety is one of our core values. There's not a project we will ever be on that is worth your life or anyone else on the team's life and safety. And nothing we do is so important in completing that we can't take the time to do it safely. That being said, there are 1,000 rules and regulations that OSHA and L&I have, and obviously I want to be in compliance with all of them. It's more important to me that you go home safe every single day. So now that you know where we stand, let's go take a look at some other elements of our safety program. Now let's talk about the PPE we're going to be using on a daily basis. On every job site you go to, you will be expected to wear high visibility clothing and a hard hat. It's your responsibility to ensure you have those on at all times when you're on a job site. Gloves are provided at any time. If you end up needing earmuffs, headphones, earplugs, what have you, if you have to yell to get 5 feet away, you need some sort of hearing protection, let me know, I'll get it out to you. Your foreman should already have some on their truck. For things you might use a little bit less often, near-miss reporting has proven to us that we should, anytime we're using anything with a wheel that's sending sparks or particles in the air, we're using glasses and a face shield. Face shields mount to your hard hats. Extra level of protection. In our line of work, we don't use fall protection all that often. In fact, extremely rarely. We have all the proper equipment. We've got your harnesses, we've got your lanyards, we've got your self-retracting lifelines. If we do ever put you in a position where you're going to need to use fall protection, I promise you we will get you through a course, we will get you competent before we ask you to do something that's going to put you in danger. Now let's talk about emergency situations. At any job site you go to, there will be a version of these posted on site. These are going to deal with the job information. You've got your project managers, your superintendents, your foreman, safety, that's me, the address of the job site where you are in case you need to call emergency services, the nearest fire station, which I will give them also a copy of this document, the nearest hospital, and your instructions for evacuation. In the unlikely event you need to evacuate the site, it will be posted along with this, which has your evacuation staging area for every member of our crew. When you get out to our job sites, you're going to find a Game Inc. huddle board. It's got all of your basic job information, your daily plans, which the foreman will go over each morning, discuss what the plan of the day is, as well as the emergency information we talked about earlier, and some general safety postings. Here we have one of our foreman's trucks. On every job site, you're going to have a foreman's truck that looks similar and has somewhat the same equipment in basically the same spots. But make sure when you get out to a job site, you check with your specific foreman and find out exactly where all these things are located. We're going to discuss the fire extinguisher and first aid kits. Every foreman's truck, as well as every piece of equipment on the job site, will be outfitted with a fire extinguisher. Again, they won't all be in the same place, so ensure you know where the one on your foreman's truck is. You are not a firefighter, and I do not expect you to be. Number one, not a single thing we have out here is worth your life or your health. If there is a fire that you feel confident you can put out, grab the extinguisher, pull the pin, aim the hose at the base of the fire, squeeze, sweep back and forth. Each foreman's truck is outfitted with first aid kits. You can recognize where they are by where this placard is on the truck. At Game Inc., every foreman's truck is outfitted with 2 first aid kits. One of them for just your everyday, you need a quick Band-Aid, little piece of gauze, what have you. One of them's open and has those little pieces. One of them remains completely unopened so that in the event of emergency, you know that everything that's supposed to be in there will be in there. This is a perfect example of compliance versus actual safety though, in that these get us in compliance, but anything more than a paper cut, you're in some trouble. So each foreman's truck is also outfitted with a larger, more thorough trauma kit. This is gonna have your tourniquets, your splints, your larger compression bandages for if anything really goes wrong out here and you need help. Again, every single injury, no matter how minor, needs to be reported to me as soon as possible. Let's talk a little bit about excavation safety. As you can see behind me, we do quite a bit of digging at Game Inc. This is by no means going to be every single thing you need to know, but let's go with the basics. If you're in a trench that's over 4 feet, you need some sort of cave-in prevention, whether it be a trench box or sloping. If you're using a trench box, your foreman's binder will have all of the tabulated data. That's all the basic information on that trench box and what it can handle, the depths it can go to. If a trench box is unavailable at the time or you just don't have space for one, we are sloping the sides of our trenches. Every bit of soil we dig in, we consider Class C, which means you need a 1.5 to 1 slope. That's a 1.5 feet horizontal for every foot vertical. If you're inside a trench, You need to have a ladder within 25 feet of horizontal travel from you in any direction. If you're in a trench box with that ladder needs to extend 3 feet above the top of that trench box. Any spoils piles, like you can see behind me, need to be at least 2 feet back from the edge of your trench. If you're not directly involved in the project that trench is being dug for, you shouldn't be anywhere near that trench and never standing at the top edge of a trench for any reason. Additionally, if you're coming up on that project while they're digging, ensure you have proper eye contact with the operator. Generally, it's a, you see me, they will take their hands off the controls, you know that it's safe to approach. Now let's talk about hazard, near miss, and injury reporting. First and foremost, if you see a hazard on a job site, please don't wait to fill out the form later in the day. Use your stop work authority, make that hazard known, and get it corrected so nobody gets hurt. As for near misses, those give us the opportunity to discuss and be safer in the future, and also bring to other crews to let them know and remind them of all the hazards we face on a daily basis. Injuries, every single one must be reported. You're gonna think I'm crazy. If you stub your toe on a job site, give me a call, shoot me a text, let me know what happened. We'll get it documented so that we're all protected in the future. Right now, let's go into Procore and see exactly how we fill those forms out. From the Procore homepage, you can select whatever project you're on, or go up top to select the project and search specifically for that. For this example, we'll be using Southridge Retail Plaza. Once at the project page, under Project Tools, select Forms. Once in the Forms page, you will start a new form by going to the orange Fill Out Form button at the top. Clicking that, you can find whichever form you are attempting to fill out. I'm selecting Hazard Report. Once we're in here, the form pulls up as a fillable PDF. Just go down each box and fill them out with whatever pertinent information is required. Remember, always make sure you make this hazard known before you take the time to come in here and fill out a form. Once complete, you'll go down to the bottom right and click that orange Create button. From here, you can download the PDF version of the form, but you absolutely need to go up to the top right and click Send Email. All hazard, injury, and near miss forms need to go to, at a minimum, me, Rod Regan. Once the email is sent, you are now finished with your report. On your mobile device, you'll select the project on your screen, navigate to the Forms tool, and hit the orange plus icon. Select the relevant report, and it will load the fillable PDF. Fill it out with all the relevant information, and hit Save. You'll then be taken back to the Forms tool where you should see your report at the top of the list. Click on the report, and you should see your filled out report. Click Menu, and then Send. Again, with any of these forms, hazard, safety, injury, or otherwise, they need to go at a minimum to me, Rod Regan. Here at Game Inc., anytime you get a new piece of equipment, it will be inspected before you start operations. These inspections are done in Procore. The first time you do them, ask your foreman. He'll be more than happy to show you and go through it with you. And nobody expects you to know how to do everything perfect the first time. Never hesitate to ask anytime you need a hand doing anything, equipment inspections or otherwise. To begin your equipment inspection, navigate to Procore on your mobile device. Within a project page on your mobile device, navigate to the Inspections tool and click the plus icon. From here, select Equipment Inspection. Again, everything in here should be pre-filled. You will only need to click Create. Fill out all of the required questions, and note that you will be required to create an observation if you click No or Fail on any of the items. As with the computer, the inspection is auto-saved. If you happen to be on a computer, here's the same process. From the home screen of a project, you'll navigate to Project Tools and select Inspections. Once in the inspection screen, you will go to the top right, click Create, select Inspection, and select Equipment Inspection. This screen should be auto-populated and you should not need to do anything besides hit Create. On the following screen, you will actually fill out your inspection. Note that if you hit No and answered any of these questions, the program will require you to create an observation, which will automatically be sent to our shop supervisor. Continue filling out the form until it's complete, and note that this form auto-saves, so there will be no requirement of hitting a complete button once you're done. So that about wraps it up. That's our safety orientation. Everything we've talked about and more in great detail, it can be found here in our accident prevention program. Every foreman has this in their foreman's binder on site, and a hard copy. It is on every project in Procore, and I'm more than happy to show you how to find that. And that being said, none of anything that I've covered in this video means that you shouldn't have questions. And anytime you do, never hesitate to reach out. My first day here, Chuck told me my job is to make your job easier and safer, and that's exactly what I'm here for. So never hesitate with any questions, concerns, or anything otherwise. And welcome to GAME.